first of all, thank you for joining us again in the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. We want to wish you welcome to Boston University and congratulations to all of you on your admission. We do look forward to welcoming you here on campus this fall, and I know we will be seeing all of you very soon at our orientation. We'll be here before you know it. You should have received your invitation. I know many of you have already registered, so if you haven't done so, we remind you to do that. So thank you for joining us today. I am Joanne Thomas. I'm Director of Master's Admission and Recruitment here in the School of Arts and Sciences. And I wanted to let you know that the majority of our presentation here on financial aid will be led by our resident expert, Victoria Trumbull, who is our financial aid associate. And also on hand with us today, we do have Martin Gassman, who is our Assistant Director of Admission and Financial Aid, and also Haley and Patrick, who are Associates in Admissions and Financial Aid as well. And a couple of things to tell you just about logistically about our presentation. We do ask that you keep your microphones muted throughout. We do have a couple of options for your questions. We are hopeful that we have covered any of your anticipated questions with what we will present to you today in our PowerPoint and our discussion. However, two options here. If you do have a question that pops up during our presentation, if you want to go to your chat box at the bottom of your screen and enter through text a question to everyone that's more of a general question, so everyone will be able to see that. We will collect those and we will address them at the end if we have not covered them. Some things, Patrick's going to be on hand and he may jump in there and answer something simple on the spot there, but other things, maybe a lot of you will want to know the answer to the same question, so we will address at the end. The other option, if you have more kind of personal financial matters that you would like to speak privately with Martin, our assistant director here, about, you can chat with him directly and privately, that he will have a private chat room open. Please be aware that he is only one person, so if there are a number of you on deck waiting to speak with him, it may be a few minutes. So I think that's it as far as questioning. I just wanted to say, that for many of you, this may be your first time really managing your finances and going through the FAFSA, the loan application process, etc. on your own. So we really wanted to do this presentation to make sure you have all of the information and all of the resources you need so that you're able to make the best decisions on how to finance this important investment in your future, right? Your future career and ultimately your life. And before I turn things over to Victoria, I want to just emphasize to you that if there's anything that comes up to you afterwards, we will be sending you the PowerPoint, we'll be sending you a couple of other documents, but anytime, please feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email. We'll post a screen at the end with all of our contact information. And, remember what you've been hearing since you were a little kid. The only stupid question is the one that remains unasked. So anytime. And we hope that you get a lot of our out of our presentation. And I will turn things over now to Victoria Trumbull.
Thank you, Joanne. So like she said, my name is Victoria Trumbull, and I'm the Financial Aid Associate here in GRS. Today I'm going to do a high-level overview of the different types of graduate aid available to you as a graduate student here at BU. If you haven't already started planning how to finance this investment, this will give you a great starting point to do so. So first, we're going to cover the types of graduate aid for you to consider. These include federal loans, private loans, work opportunities, and scholarships. So we'll first discuss the federal loan options, and a little later on we will discuss the other three options. So there are two types of federal loans that our office processes. These are the Federal Direct Stafford Loan and the Federal Direct Graduate Plus Loan. The Stafford loan is an unsubsidized loan, so all of the graduate loans are unsubsidized. This just means that they will accrue interest while you're in school. There is an annual maximum of $20,500 per year. So this includes fall, spring, and summer. The current interest rate is 6.6%. So the interest rate is determined by Congress at the beginning of the summer for the next academic year. And this rate does get capped at 9.5%. There is a 1.066% origination fee. So this is a small fee that the Department of Education keeps before your loan is dispersed. So the PLUS loan is also unsubsidized. That is a credit-based loan. So there is a basic credit check for this loan that looks for major issues, but it's not based on your credit score. So if you did have any major issues, you still may be able to borrow with a cosigner. We recommend that you take the Stafford loan first, as it does have better interest rates than the PLUS loan. The PLUS loan interest rate is 7.6%, and there is a 4.264 origination fee. Both loans may be deferred until 6 months after your graduation or a drop below half-time status. The deferment for the Stafford loan is an automatic process, and for the PLUS loan, you may need to actively apply for a deferment. So on this second slide, we're going to discuss how much you can borrow. So your eligibility for borrowing loans is calculated by subtracting your total aid from your cost of attendance. So your total aid consists of any aid that you are currently receiving, such as merit or external scholarships, other outside loans, or service-free stipends. So some of you may have received a departmental merit scholarship. Those are made at the point of admission and would have been included in your admission offer letter. So that would be considered aid for you. Your cost of attendance consists of tuition, mandatory fees, room and board, books, personal, and we subtract your total aid from your cost of attendance to determine the amount you would be eligible to borrow. So on this next slide, we are going to take a look at the cost of attendance for 2018-2019. This is for a full-time student. So tuition fees and medical insurance are billable expenses, so those will be directly charged to your student account. The living expenses that you see are not billable directly to your account, but rather these represent a standard living budget for which you can borrow loans for. You can see that there are fees listed: student services and health and wellness fees. These are basic fees that all universities will charge you. The full-time student fee gives you access to utilizing all the resources on campus. So these are things like technology support, library access, printing. The health and wellness fee does pay for your FitRec gym membership. So we have a great gym on campus, and it also provides wellness and prevention services. I definitely recommend looking at the Student Health Service website. It's a really good resource for information on campus relating to wellness events. They do give out free wellness kits. They have a final survival kit, stress relief kits, and they even have therapy dog sessions. So definitely check those things out. The medical insurance, so the cost you're seeing there is for the basic plan. This is $2,205. It does cover you from August until next August. And this basic plan is the plan that the university automatically enrolls you in. There is a plus plan, which is a more comprehensive plan that costs a little bit more. That one's $2,973. And if you have comparable insurance, you can waive this cost. The living expenses below, so BU creates these living expense budgets by surveying students to get an estimate of average costs during their academic year. So these actual costs will vary based on the person, but they give you a good idea of the amount you might spend in each category over the course of the year. So we strongly urge students to consider this budget before leasing or making other arrangements. For instance, you can see from this slide that $13,775 is allocated to room and board. So that includes your rent and groceries. So just make sure you're considering these figures as you do your budget. So we have a total cost of attendance of $75,192 that students can borrow, provided you meet the eligibility requirements we discussed next. For instance, a student with a $5,000 scholarship, just to give you an idea, could only borrow up to $70,192. So we do take the cost of attendance minus any aid you may have received to get the amount that you're eligible to borrow. So this slide is just going to go through eligibility requirements. So you must be a US citizen. You also have to be enrolled in a degree program on at least a half-time basis, and the credits do have to count towards your degree. If you are male, you have to be registered with the Selective Service. You can't owe a refund on any federal grant or be in default on any educational loan. You must make satisfactory academic progress towards your degree. And you can't have exceeded the maximum borrowing limit for the Stafford loan, which we'll talk about next. For the PLUS loan, you do have to meet the credit criteria, but like we said, it's not as in-depth as a credit card check. It's just a basic credit check. So for federal loan maximums, as I mentioned, you can borrow $20,500 per year for the Stafford. If you did borrow as an undergraduate student, the aggregate loan limit is $31,000 if you were a dependent, or $57,500 if you were independent. If you do exceed these amounts, you do have to pay down these loans for you to borrow more loans. The aggregate limit, so the maximum that you can borrow as a graduate student, is $138,500. And to access your loan record online, you can visit nslds.ed.gov. This will give you an access of all the loans that you borrowed previously. So the PLUS loan, you can borrow up to the cost of attendance for the academic period minus any aid you're receiving, including Stafford. We just want to remind you that the loans do disperse in 2 equal installments at the beginning of each semester. So for instance, if you borrow the Stafford loan, you will get $10,250 in fall and $10,250 in spring. If you do have a valid credit balance on your student account, you can request a refund. The earliest day that you can do that is the first day of classes. And you can do this through the student link. They'll ask you for your direct deposit information, and that will get sent to you that way. So how do we go about applying for aid? So step 1 is to file a FAFSA. So you can do that online, and you're going to want to do this each year that you want to apply for loans. So the FAFSA does determine your eligibility to receive federal financial aid. When you do the FAFSA, just make sure that you are including the BU school code at 002130. And if you can, make use of the IRS data retrieval tool. This will import all of your tax information from the IRS directly to your FAFSA. If you have any questions or need any help, you can always email us at grsaid@bu.edu. And just remember that you must do this application before the start of each year of attendance. One question that we get often is if students need to include their parents' information. As a graduate student, you're an independent, so you don't need to include your parents' information. You would just want to include your own information. After you do the FAFSA, you have to submit loan request forms. These have to be done each year that you want to borrow loans. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the Stafford loan. That's what the loan application actually looks like. And on the right hand is the Grad Plus loan. These forms can be found on our website. I do believe we're going to send them out after the presentation as well. You can fax these forms to us. You can mail them to us. You can also email them to us, but we recommend leaving your social security number off of the form just because it's not secure. And then you can just give our office a call and we can add it to your form after the fact. After you do your FAFSA, you're just going to want to make sure you complete your master promissory note and do the entrance counseling. So you will visit studentloans.gov. It actually looks like this picture we have on the left-hand side. you'll visit the second tab, which is for graduate professional students. And those top 3 links are the ones you will complete. So it says complete entrance counseling, the MPN for the unsubsidized loan, and also for the PLUS loan. So next we'll talk about private loans. We have a list of lenders below that the university has identified as offering competitive rates, customer service, and borrower benefits. So BU surveys private loans at the beginning of the year, comes up with a good list of competing loan providers. So you can borrow from any of these loan providers or any other without penalty. We do urge you to compare the credit-based loan information and the terms just to determine the best fit for your needs. And you do have to apply for these directly with the lenders. Remember that you should only choose one credit-based loan per year. So you would either do the PLUS or any other of these private loans. And of course, only borrow what you need. We also included a few loan calculators for repayment estimates. So once you graduate school, you can log onto these websites and see what your repayment options are and how much you can expect to pay going forward. Work opportunities is another thing we wanted to discuss. So we do have a link there to our on-campus employment. There's a number of jobs on campus that can be applied for by visiting that link. It's a great resource because these jobs understand that your main focus is your education, so they're going to be more flexible when it comes to hours. These jobs range from administrative jobs to tutoring and can pay anywhere from $11 to $20 an hour. We also have federal work study. We do have a small amount of awards which we can give out. It's $3,500 for the academic year and $4,500 for the summer. We have the deadlines listed, so you can see that the deadline for this academic year has passed, but if you're in a 2-year program, you could apply for next year, so just keep a lookout for that. Departmental employment, so master's students can oftentimes help with faculty within the department on various research or teaching projects. So if you are interested in doing that, reach out to your department. They will have an idea if those opportunities are available to you. If they don't have any opportunities, I would still recommend talking to them because the faculty is often well connected, so they might know of, some outside opportunities for you. And then outside employment, I think students underestimate how much money they can make working in the city, whether it be waitressing, nannying, tutoring. I definitely recommend looking into this. You can make a lot of money in Boston. There's tons of opportunity. Lastly, outside scholarships. So I think sometimes graduate students glaze over this. We have a few examples of scholarship search sites that could provide you with tuition help. So on these websites and others, there's hundreds of organizations that offer scholarships based on a variety of criteria, such as field of study, gender, career interests. So definitely start here, but then you can just do a Google search as well for your specific major to see if there are any scholarships available to you. So lastly, we will talk about important dates to keep in mind. We do recommend that you submit your FAFSA and loan applications and complete the MPN and loan entrance counseling by August 1st to ensure timely processing. I know August is a busy month for all of us. You will be moving, I'm sure. So just try to get all of your things in by August 1st. September 4th is the first day of classes, and that's the earliest day you can get a refund. September 17th is the payment deadline. So if you have not paid by that deadline, you will start incurring late fees, and those increase as the semester goes on. You don't have to wait until August 1st to submit your documentation. You can start as soon as possible, and we would actually appreciate that. So now I will turn it back to Joanne, who will wrap up with some additional resources that are available to you.
Great, thanks so much, Victoria. That was a lot of information for everyone. So again, we will send you the PowerPoint and we will be available for questions. But some other things to think about as when you're preparing to come to Boston for graduate school and looking at your budget. So a main concern people may have is housing. And Boston is a fantastic place to live. And all of us here managed to do it, but it's not cheap, right? So like any of your big cities that you're looking at. But there are options. BU Real Estate actually has great apartments, has one dorm for grad students, so that's someplace you can look. These are all linked, so when you get the PowerPoint, you'll be able to see. Also, off-campus services, you can create an account there, you can log in. A lot of our students at the graduate level look on that site to find roommates to post. Maybe you find an apartment, a 2-bedroom, and you're looking for a roommate to share the cost with you, so you can link up there, find people who sort of match your interests. Maybe you're studying similar subjects or have a similar background, where you came from, things like that. So that could be useful to you. Also, I put a link there to, there's a series that BU Today does, the media outlet here, BU Today Neighborhoods. It lists all these great neighborhoods. If you're not from Boston, you may not realize that it's actually a pretty small, pretty concentrated city, very walkable, very easy to get places on public transit, either the T, which we call our subway, or on the bus. And so a lot of our students maybe live someplace that's just like the next neighborhood over, not even town. A lot of students live in Allston, Brighton area. So you can check out the neighborhoods to get a description there, get a feel of things. That's another thing, feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have questions about those things. I'm still kind of new to Boston. I've been here for 15 months, so I'm still very excited to talk to folks about, finds that I have in the area. So another thing that you get, there's a lot of free entertainment around town, and even beyond, kind of, you walk down the street, any park that you go to, it seems like there's some sort of festival, some sort of free concert every weekend. But as a student at BU, you do get, as part of our arts initiative here, you get free admission to like the MFA, Beautiful Art Museum, the ICA, Contemporary Art Museum, a lot of different opportunities for you here to find things that are free, while you're a student, so you can have a little time off from your studies. Also, Victoria mentioned that included in your health and wellness fee is a membership to FitRec, and I'm telling you, people call it like the best gym in Boston. There are classes there from Pilates to kickboxing to yoga, and of course all the cardio and weight equipment you could imagine. Big beautiful pool, so that's a great resource as well that you have at your disposal that you don't have to pay additionally for. And finally, there's a link there to a little budget worksheet, nothing official, but something you can play around with, again, just as you are making your plans to, for the next year, year and a half, how you're going to make things work. And you will make it work because your peers are doing it. We've all done it, and you'll figure it out. This is very important to you in your future, and of course, you're going to find a way to cover your costs and get a great BU master's degree. So I hope that has covered a lot of your questions. I didn't see anything come in from you. So again, if anything comes up afterwards, please feel free to reach out, and you will receive an email from us by the end of the day today. And thank you again. Congratulations. And we can't wait to meet you all in person. Thanks.